Welcome to the very first run-through of explaining to you, maybe a novice, maybe a beginner, maybe a skilled person who knows how to work a learning management system. Learning management system is really it's a simple acronym that stands for a program that makes it possible for you to learn and to learn online. You can manage learning and you can manage testing, and we can also manage our own personal accounts. That is, to find out a number of courses that you are engaged in. There'll probably just be one class, one course, and by that I mean each course is, very simply put, it's one of these squares here, okay? One of these squares. Yeah, I guess they're squares. They don't look quite like rectangles. Each one of these will represent a course. You'll probably just have one for a course that you are currently taking here. And looking at this dashboard, I'm going to point out on the left-hand side a way in which you can access any number of activities. Over here on this side, often for students, you can view your grades, you can view access to assignments or quizzes, exams on the sort. It is coming up on our calendar. If you want to look at our calendar, you can select that little tab right next to it and see a whole big screen calendar. Isn't that fun? And it just so happens that I have a teacher here who has filled in all of these items and he's already done, or is give you a slightly better view of what's going on here. How about that? So you can see that if you use calendar, okay, that way you can see things in the future. You can even see the cursor. Let me look at my account. Let me see what it is. Ooh, it says my profile, and probably the very first thing you'll do is to set your profile just for this one very specific reason. Let me show you the settings. That one. Settings is right here. And I'm going to double click it or single click it. It'll light up. And look, it has all my name stuff on it too. Because I want you to see that we are in the Pacific time zone. All right? And once you see that, you'll recognize that you're in California. We are looking at this wonderful screen, which you will adjust. One of the very first things you will do here is you will adjust your time zone. Make sure it's in the Pacific time zone. Here we are. We're going to look here and move on back to a previous screen. I'm not sure where I am. Let's see. All right, so I scroll down. I'm going to make it just a little easier for me to navigate by going back in time to that setting. So you can see it gives me the option for the dashboard, which again, that dashboard just shows me the classes I have. And here's one that you will take when you succeed. You'll see this wonderful class here about propellers. The only class we talk about propellers in is propellers class. We also talk about exhaust. There, fuel metering, that's another class. Let me see if I can get just a little closer for you on that to show you. Remembering that this, on the left-hand side of the screen here, this group of selections is available to you. You can use the various directions here to access your dashboard. And the dashboard is the key, if you look at it, to getting into your LMS classes. All right, so here it is. The LMS, the learning management system we call Canvas, has this great ability. It's kind of easy to use once you get used to it. It is not going to hurt you to mess up. The only thing you can really mess up is not using it. How about that? Okay, so here I am at the home page. You can even see a few things while you look around in the home page. You can see I can access all of that stuff here on this side of my screen. I can access my start. I can access my syllabus. I can talk and look at modules, which is where we're headed, okay? what we're doing here is we are just curious when they say start here. What is a start here about? I don't know. I'm not a start here kind of guy, but look at that. It tells me my course schedule, which starts at 5:30 p.m. on August 6th. I do evening classes generally. Here we are. And look at that, an explanation for how to use Zoom right there. You hit that and it'll teach you about Zoom. So those of you not knowing,
in this video, we'll go over how to join a Zoom meeting. When receiving,
they're going to do a Zoom meeting right there. And all that is wonderful. It's not all that difficult. We have fun with them. They are our great facilitator for us. Let's see. Okay, so these are all here. It even has my link if you needed to take a class from me. When you get to the Zoom screen, you'll see that it asks for a meeting ID. You plug that in, you're in. Oh, here they are. So on the left-hand side, this is how I navigate. I can get to my account. Remember, we did this. We looked at our accounts and we said, let's take a look at our profiles, our settings. That's it. Our settings are the place where we set it for Pacific time. How about that? And what else about this that you should know? All right, so we're looking at the settings page on the learning management system we call Canvas. Now look, this on the left-hand side, group of selections here. Underneath the Spartan symbol, you have your own picture and account details available to you. On the left-hand side, you can see your courses. If I look in my dashboard, you'll see something like this pop up on your screen. It'll have the name of your course, perhaps, undoubtedly. How about that? Left-hand side of my dashboard, it gives me all these various access to all of the account important information and controls, accesses. Not common for us to use the commons, but everybody uses the inboxes. We haven't really found a way to utilize a commons, which would be not unlike having an announcement page, but we just use an announcement page. For that, you can do my announcement page. Just go to my course and open it up. And that's what I would do. And over here, I'd find my announcements. It's not unlike having a common area. Common areas, though, are exclusive to each course in this way. We don't use a commons largely because we're not using the entire school participating in one activity or anything, but a commons could do that amongst your class. But what we've got here in our announcements, we have an announcement. Interested in proper format for reference citation? Doubt it. Oh, typically this is the one we have on top. Welcome to the class schedule. That's it. The layout of your page, again on the left-hand side, has very many options within the course. So if I was to break it down, I'd say the leftmost area gives me an overview of access. And then specific access in my dashboard, I go straight to my page and I have all of these options here to play with, starting with announcements. I always like to start there, or you could start, you see your front page, and that's what you get to see. To do, nothing for now. Boy, oh boy, that's true. The course is over. But this one here is my student page, student view of things. I probably would see this when I come in. I see my account. I'd probably want to look at that maybe. I look at my dashboard, which says it's denied to me, but what you'll see on your dashboard is something like this. You'll see, as a student, you'll see something like this. I can't access that for you. And of course, what you're going to see is a dashboard opportunity to look at your class. It's going to pop up and populate, and you can navigate from here. You can hit these words here, highlighted words, and then come to your home page for that class. And your home page has many ways to get to the same place. I probably should say that. You have many routes. They're not intuitive, but they're so available. You don't know what you want to get to, I guess, maybe. It could be the problem. But once you do it 2 or 3 times, you'll know where you want to go. And you can read for yourself then what it is on this left-hand side here. You can, on your very first page of the home page, you can access announcements, syllabus, all of these good things. The syllabus is available as well. And then something called modules, which very important. Gives you the map, really, of the 5-week course, or roughly 5-week course. So you have an announcement section. You can go straight to announcements if you want. And if you do that, you can see how that's laid out, probably, if I lay it out there for you. There we go. Any announcements you want. I always have roughly a commons area here. They do this in traditional colleges. When you get information out of the book, you cite and specifically tell where it is. So this is a format for that. We don't do that in my classes. We just say, I'm using it from such and such location. I took this off of our book, the 8083, which is a good reference, or I happen to have the instructions for a manual, repair manual, right here, and that's where I got this. And that's what we're about. We just casually mention where we get our authority. We like to borrow from our authorities. Well, we are professionals, and we tell people where we're getting our information. All right, so now let's try this. We're still in the screen, looking at our looking at announcements here. We've scrolled way down below, but let me scroll back up to show you where that is. Okay, so we move from our home page to our announcements page. You can just jump around if you'd like. I could have you look at syllabi if you'd like. The syllabus, of course, gives a course description. Talks about plagiarism, which is taking information and willfully using it and passing it off as your own. And this could also mean that you would take information and change the words around a little bit, but still use another source. And of course, that's still plagiarism if you don't identify where you got the information from. And right here, we're just sort of getting you used to taking that information and stating where you get it. We have other available navigation for you. We have, like I said, the home page, and then we have announcements. As I've said before, you can find your announcements there. A syllabus is available, and as I said, it has on that page a broad statement about academic honesty. Of course, our ability to accommodate folks who require extra help. We make mention of that. Moreover, we have other navigation available to you on this left-hand side of the page. Not sure why this tag is still here. Would like it out of my way, but I don't panic. Things are just like that with technology. The one thing I would like to show you beyond the syllabus is the area that you're going to be working pretty intensely using these modules. And I'm going to ask you to look at your grades often. How about that? Look at them often. Make sure that the items that you submit are submitted and they are graded. We usually like to have a one-day turnaround, except on weekends. But we like to get you your feedback from your efforts within 24 hours. That's our goal. Some things come up we usually get some of that work done in 24 hours. We like you to submit your stuff on time. And so it is a pretty intensive coursework here. And so we do ask you to look at your grades, and I hope not to see anybody's in particular, but here are... Okay, discussion day 1 cooling. I know that's not the clearest thing in the world, and I'm wearing my glasses, and it's still not very clear, but you can get the idea from this close-up that this is something like what you'll see. You'll be able to look at the name of the assignment, the due date, the status, the score, etc. And as you can tell, for each student, you'll be able to see these possibilities of scores. Over here, out of 5, it says. You can't read that very well, I'm guessing, but there it is, right about there. Out of 5, here's a score not achieved. Why? Because it was missing. So maybe you have to send a note to the teacher. I'm working on that. And I'm hoping you can really accept that still. And of course, you can see this is the full length of your view here. Let me come back to show you what the whole screen looks like. Looks something like this, of course, always with the navigation bars on the left, and another finer refinement, so you can go to these other destinations. How about that? This is the navigation bar. Over here you can navigate to other destinations within your course. How about that? And what else? Let me close it. You can see of that page that you have options that you can go to back within the course itself. You can go back to the home pages if you'd like. You could go to the announcements if you'd like, or even the syllabus if you could stand to read that again. And modules is the only thing I haven't really gotten into yet. We've made mention now of all of these grade possibilities. How about that? Your records of grades, as I said on the grade page. Let me move that back a little. Right, so there is the full picture of the page that we've just been exploring right there. It looks something like that. You can tell that from the student point of view, the navigation always remains over here on the left-hand side. And once you get into the course, once you've opened it up from the dashboard or however you open it, you can see you can travel to the home announcements. You can travel to syllabus, modules, grades, and I haven't talked too much about the Spartan Help Desk, which can always help you. There's a phone Spartan Help Desk by just hitting that magical machine button right there, Mr. Freed. There you go. And of course, then you can send in any sort of questions you've got for support. Can't tell you much about them other than over here it's at the bottom of your list here. That's within the course. You always have that access. Now finally, I've talked a little bit about the grades, how they're due. I haven't told you how we do anything, and that's probably the most important quality of this little video we're doing here for you. Of course, once you use them, look something like this. They are broken into weekly tasks, usually. Each module being a weekly task. Of course, you have a home page module right here, which expresses all of those wonderful things that we have asked you to do from the home page. We have the netiquette statement, that we have the home access to the home page stuff. Again, you still have your navigation on the left. But what is incredible about this is the various modules that we're going to show you now. If I can, there it is, back in. And what are they? Modules. Well, really, they're just the groupings of weekly work. That's what a module is. Began on the first week of June 25th, which, as I recall, it was a very short week. And we did, looks like every day, a typical layout of a discussion, a quiz, The one below is a quiz, quiz 1, and then an assignment, a written assignment, pretty lengthy, usually done towards the end of class, which allows us to spend some time with the material, learning it as we write about it. And of course, the second day of class for a very short week also provided the same thing on the second day. And if we look over here, I don't know if you'll be able to make this out, but wish you could, because it says exhaust systems only in PowerPoint. That is, you can now access from this weekly plan, you can access the PowerPoint for the exhaust system. And that's pretty helpful, because you don't have to go hunting around for all your stuff. It's right there. So let me unzoom it so you can see it in how it opened up. And voila, there it is. So you have an exhaust system PowerPoint, which you can, so here's a full page of notes, which is kind of odd. But yes, the teacher may embellish during lecture, the 40-minute lectures you heard about. And each time we can travel to another slide. We have 27 over here, a little discussion about a little illustration of some of the material that you'll be seeing in the classes, talking about different types of exhaust systems and the like. Okay, so that's in a module. So I've just either downloaded this or following along with the teacher on his Zoom screen or her Zoom screen, sharing this information and discussing it with you in your 40-minute lecture, maybe 240 sections. It's hard to say. Everybody does it a little differently. The ultimate purpose of doing this is to show you how to use your modules. And as I said, traveling through your module is really a roadmap for what you're going to do each week. So typically, every day of every week, you're going to have 3 items to perform: a discussion, a quiz, and an assignment. If you'll take a look here, and then you'll just open them up. You know, you'll, for example, you'll open up a quiz, and it says here you're allowed 2 attempts. I'll give you a little try with this. Is no longer available because, of course, it has a little bit of a time limit on it. Yeah, I can show you an assignment. Typically, you'll answer a question like this: what is an augmenter tube? That's what this says in the fine print right over here. We're looking at a typical assignment. Right here, it says, what is an augmenter tube for reciprocating engine aircraft, and how does it function? So that's something you probably had in your lecture. We'll handle that in a classroom, obviously, but you're probably going to look up some material, you're going to refer to that material, and you're going to talk about the subject as you learn. And that's kind of what we do with our assignments. We try to learn something that's relevant, okay? And then we send it in after sorts, and you'll hit a punch button someplace here. I can't show it to you yet because it's already closed, but you get the idea. And that's kind of what I'm talking about. I can show you another activity, and that would be, of course, discussions. Discussions are also very much the same, handled very similarly, except you send them in directly and you participate with one another. Okay? And so you'll respond to a question such as this one. What's a disadvantage of this or an advantage of that? And you'll respond in a group thread. All right, so I hope this introduction has worked rather well for you. I think the best activity for you to do is to try out this system. And even though it looks like an awful lot of stuff when you first look at it, you just try it out again and again. And within about 3 or 4 tries, you start to get familiar with it. And then inside of a week, you're old hat. And I think that you'll have a blast with it. It's pretty easy to use, but you do have to learn. And I know you can accomplish that. this system works. Thank you very much.